Me, 43, City Councillor in Manchester, England, representing ward of 35,000 residents for past 6 years. Masters in Public Policy, worked in local government for 18 years. First woman to chair the Public Safety Committee. Proud of progressive policies I've championed. Gender equality initiatives, diversity requirements, inclusive practices. Part of Labour Council majority, aligned with party values. Known throughout Greater Manchester as advocate for women's issues. Pushed through several groundbreaking policies in emergency services. New diversity hiring targets for fire brigade and police. Mandatory equality training for all public safety personnel. Revised physical fitness standards to be more inclusive. Gender balance requirements for promotion boards. These changes won national attention, awards from equality groups. Most progressive council for women in emergency services. Featured in Guardian article about transforming male-dominated fields. Party leadership loves the optics, considering me for regional role. Manchester Fire and Rescue Service has 1,800 personnel. About 95% male, mostly white, very traditional culture. Been pushing for years to change that composition, to make it reflect the diverse city we serve. Under my leadership on committee, implemented major changes. Lowered physical fitness requirements to increase female applicants. Change from strictly timed tests to pass when ready approach. Reduced weight requirements for equipment carrying. Modified ladder climb standards, adjusted hose handling tests. All designed to make the job more accessible to women. Also implemented diversity quotas for new hires. 40% of new firefighter positions must go to women or minorities, even if that means passing over higher-scoring white male candidates. Priority hiring for underrepresented groups to reach targets. Additionally, mandatory training requirements. All firefighters must complete 60 hours annually. Unconscious bias, toxic masculinity, inclusive leadership. Based des interventions, microaggressions, privilège awareness. Some resistance from old guard firefighters, but expected. They're resistant to change, stuck in outdated ways. Tonight is monthly town hall meeting at the Civic Center. Open forum where residents can address council. Usually quiet, maybe 50 to 75 people attend. Routine questions about bins, parking, local services. I'm prepared with updates on recent policy initiatives. Arrive at Civic Center at 6:45 p.m. for 7 p.m. start. Notice the car park is unusually full. More people than normal for a routine town hall. Walk into the main hall, immediately notice something different. The room is packed, easily 300-plus people. Most are wearing red shirts, fire service colors. Oh God, this is organized, this is planned. Make my way to the council table at front. Other councilors are already there, looking nervous. The fire brigade members fill the first 10 rows. Mix of active firefighters and some in civilian clothes, presumably retired. See station patches from all over Greater Manchester. Stockport, Salford, Oldham, Rochdale, Bolton stations. This isn't just Manchester City. This is the whole service area. Town hall starts at 7 p.m. Council leader opens the meeting. Welcome everyone. Unusually large turnout tonight. We'll follow standard procedure. Council updates first. Then open forum for public comments. Get through the routine updates. Everyone's distracted. The firefighters sit silently, arms crossed, waiting. Finally reach open forum portion. Floor is now open for public comments. Immediately a hand goes up from the firefighters section. Man in his 50s, fire service uniform, multiple service pins. Council leader recognizes him. Please state your name. He stands, faces the room, strong voice. Station Officer Michael Davies, Moss Side Fire Station. Been with Greater Manchester Fire Service for 28 years. He's holding a thick folder, clearly prepared. I'm here representing over 400 active and retired firefighters to address Councillor Hartley's policies affecting our service. Every eye in the room turns to me. Feel my face getting hot. This is about my committee work. We've prepared a presentation about the impact of recent changes on operational capability, safety, and service delivery. Council leader looks uncomfortable. This is unusual. Town halls are for brief comments, not presentations. Another firefighter stands, woman in her 40s. We've tried official channels for 2 years, been ignored. Requested meetings with the committee, been dismissed. Submitted formal concerns, been told we're resistant to progress. She looks directly at me. So we're here publicly because private communication has failed completely. Council leader reluctantly agrees. 10 minutes, please. Officer Davies moves to the front, sets up laptop, projects first slide onto the screen. It's a graph. This shows response times across Greater Manchester. Past 3 years since the policy changes began. The line is trending upward significantly. Average response time in 2021, 5 minutes 12 seconds. 2022, 5 minutes 38 seconds. 2023, 6 minutes 47 seconds. 2024 year-to-date, 7 minutes 23 seconds. He pauses, lets the numbers sink in. That's 40% increase in response time. 2 additional minutes before we arrive at emergencies. 2 minutes that can mean life or death. Next slide shows incident outcomes. Fire deaths in Greater Manchester. 2021, 8 deaths. 2022, 11 deaths. 2023, 14 deaths. 2024 year-to-date, 16 deaths, on track for 21. The room is completely silent, residents shocked. We're not saying all of this is due to policy changes, but there's an undeniable correlation that must be examined. Another firefighter stands, younger man, maybe 30. I'm firefighter James Wilson, Stretford Station, 7 years service. I want to talk about the physical standards changes. He clicks to his slide, shows old versus new requirements. Old standard, carry 70 kilograms up ladder in under 2 minutes. New standard, carry 50 kilograms up ladder. No time limit, multiple attempts allowed. Old standard, drag 90 kilograms dummy 30 meters in under 60 seconds. New standard, drag 70 kilograms dummy 20 meters, 90 seconds, multiple attempts. He looks around the room at residents. A person trapped in a burning building doesn't weigh 70 kilograms. They weigh 70 to 90 kilograms on average, sometimes more. And we need to get them out in seconds, not minutes. The fire doesn't wait for multiple attempts. Shows photos of actual rescue scenarios. This is what we do. This is the reality. Carrying unconscious people down ladders. Dragging bodies through smoke-filled corridors. Breaking down doors, moving furniture, hauling equipment. His voice is getting emotional, passionate. The new standards don't reflect the actual job. They were lowered to increase diversity. But physics doesn't care about diversity. A person's weight doesn't change based on who's rescuing them. The female firefighter from earlier stand again. I'm Station Officer Sarah Chun, Cheetham Hill Station. 15 years service. First woman promoted to officer rank in my station. I expect her to support my position. I'm here to say the counselor's policies are dangerous. And they're particularly dangerous for women firefighters. This catches me completely off guard. I passed the original standards, the harder ones, because I needed to know I could do the actual job. That I could save lives, not just fill diversity quotas. She's getting emotional now, voice breaking. Last month we had a house fire in Blackley. Family of 4 trapped on the first floor. I needed to carry a 6-year-old girl down the ladder. She weighed probably 20 kilograms, terrified, struggling. The room is completely silent, everyone listening. My junior firefighter, recent hire under new standards. Couldn't make the carry, wasn't strong enough. Started panicking halfway down, nearly dropped the child. I had to take over, complete the rescue myself. She's crying now, angry tears. That child could have died because we hired someone who met diversity targets, but not actual job requirements. And you want to know the worst part? She looks directly at me, voice hard. That firefighter was a woman, hired under your quotas. And now she lives with that trauma, that failure. Because you set her up to fail by lowering standards. Another firefighter stands, older man, Asian heritage. Watch Commander Raj Patel, Salford Station, 24 years. I want to address the diversity hiring targets. Shows slide with hiring data. 40% of new positions must go to women or minorities. In a field where only 3% of applicants are women, where we're already proportionally diverse on ethnicity. He shows demographic data. Greater Manchester population. 60% white, 40% minority. Greater Manchester Fire Service. 65% white, 35% minority. We're actually more diverse than the population. But these targets ignore that, focus only on gender. Next slide shows rejected applications. Last recruitment cycle, 847 applicants. 326 passed all tests and assessments. Of those, 298 were men, 28 were women. He pauses for effect. Under merit-based hiring, we take top 120 candidates. That would give us 10 women, 110 men based on scores. Under the 40% quota, we had to take 48 women. Shows the problem. We only had 28 women who passed. So we went back through failed applications, found 20 more women who came closest to passing, and hired them despite not meeting standards, while rejecting 178 men who scored higher. A younger firefighter stands, can't be more than 25. Daniel Murphy, Withenshaw Station, 2 years service. I want to talk about the mandatory training requirements. He looks exhausted, frustrated. 60 hours annually of equality and diversity training. That's a week and a half of operational time. Time we're not training for actual firefighting, not practicing rescues, not drilling procedures. Shows training time comparisons. 2021, 240 hours annual operational training. 2024, 180 hours operational training, 60 hours diversity training. We've lost 25% of our practical training time. Another slide, firefighting skills proficiency test scores. 2021 average, 87%. 2024 average, 73%. We're less prepared for actual fires because we're spending time on unconscious bias. Retired firefighter stands, looks to be in his 60s. Retired Station Commander Tom Williams. 35 years service, retired last year. His voice carries authority, decades of experience. I've watched this service change over my career. I've seen progress, good progress, necessary progress. Women joining, ethnic minorities advancing, culture improving. But these recent changes aren't progress, they're regression. He's speaking directly to the residents now. When you call 999 with a fire emergency, you want firefighters who can save you. You don't care if they're men or women. You don't care about their diversity training hours. You care if they're strong enough to carry you out. If they're skilled enough to find you in smoke. If they're fast enough to get there before you die. His voice rises with passion. These policies prioritize representation over capability, diversity over competency, optics over outcomes. And people are dying because of it. Officer Davies stands again, takes control. We've documented all of this in formal reports, submitted them to the Public Safety Committee, to Councillor Hartley specifically multiple times. He holds up thick folders. Every time, we're told we're resistant to change, that we're protecting male privilege, that we're stuck in old boys club mentality. He looks at me directly now. But we're not protecting privilege. We're protecting lives. We're trying to maintain standards that keep people alive, both the public we serve and the firefighters we work with. Another firefighter stands, middle-aged woman. Watch Commander Linda Foster, Oldham Station, 19 years. I'm a woman. I'm a feminist. I support equality. Expected her to defend my policies. But these policies aren't about equality. They're about lowering standards to achieve numbers. They're about sacrificing capability for optics. She's getting emotional, angry. I worked twice as hard as the men to prove myself. Passed the same tests, met the same standards. Earned respect through competence and performance. Voice rising now. And these policies undermine all of that. Make people question if I earn my rank, or if I was diversity hire who couldn't hack it. They help women by numbers while hurting us by reputation. She points at me. You want to help women in fire service? Keep high standards and provide better training. Mentor women through the process, support their development. Don't lower the bar and pretend you've achieved equality. Officer Davies shows final slides, financial impact. Increased response times lead to more property damage. Estimated £45 million additional insurance costs annually. Recruitment and training costs for high turnover. £8 million extra spent on retesting and remedial training. Legal liability for the deaths and injuries. Potential $20+ million in settlements and lawsuits. He closes the laptop, faces the council. We're not here to oppose diversity or inclusion. We support having women and minorities in the service, but not at the cost of public safety, not by lowering standards that exist for life-saving reasons. Looks at all the council members, then at me. We're asking you to pause these policies, to work with us on solutions that maintain safety, to listen to the people who actually do this job. Before more people die in fires we could have prevented. The room erupts in applause. Firefighters and residents. Council leader bangs gavel, calling for order. All eyes turn to me, waiting for response. Feel completely unprepared, ambushed by their data. These are concerning statistics that deserve examination. My voice sounds weak compared to their presentations. But we can't ignore the historical exclusion of women from emergency services and public safety roles. Officer Davies speaks before I can continue. Counselor, with respect, we're not talking about history. We're talking about present day, about actual deaths, about response times that have increased 40%, about firefighters who can't perform basic rescues. Sarah Chun stands. Counselor Hartley, you've never fought a fire. You've never carried an unconscious person down a ladder. You've never searched a smoke-filled building for a child. But you've changed the standards for those who do. She's shaking with emotion. From your office, from safety, making decisions that put us and the public at risk. Based on ideology, not operational reality. Resident stands, older woman, maybe 70. I'm Margaret Thompson, lived in Moss Side 40 years. My flat building caught fire last month, electrical fault. She's emotional, scared reliving it. Fire brigade took 9 minutes to arrive. 9 minutes of smoke filling my flat. I'm asthmatic, I couldn't breathe, I was passing out. Tears streaming down her face now. If it had taken another minute, I'd be dead. You're telling me response times are up 40%. That could have killed me. All for diversity targets? Another resident, younger man with child. My daughter's school is right next to my house. If there's a fire there, I want firefighters who can save her. I don't care what gender they are. I care if they're capable. More residents speaking up, supporting the firefighters. The political situation is becoming clear. This isn't just about policy, this is about votes. These are my constituents, angry and scared. Council leader calls for order, ends the open forum. This clearly requires further discussion. The Public Safety Committee will review these concerns. Firefighters aren't satisfied, start chanting. Safety over quotas. Safety over quotas. Residents join in. The chant grows louder. Council leader adjourns the meeting early. As we file out, residents approach the firefighters, thanking them, supporting them, asking questions. I slip out the back, feeling completely defeated. Next morning, the story is everywhere. Manchester Evening News. Firefighters challenge council's safety policies. Guardian. Greater Manchester Fire Service questions diversity quotas. BBC Northwest. Response times up 40% since standards changed. Social media is exploding. Video of the town hall viral. Officer Davies' presentation viewed 500,000 times already. Comments overwhelmingly supporting the firefighters. Party leadership calls they're furious. This is a disaster. You've made the party look bad. Made it seem like we care more about diversity than safety. Try to defend myself. The data is questionable. The data is on BBC News. It's too late for that. You need to fix this, or we'll find someone who can. Spend the weekend reading the reports they submitted. The ones I dismissed as resistance to change. Every concern they raised at town hall is documented. Page after page of incident reports, training data, response metrics. Everything they said was true, was evidenced, was ignored. Look at the deaths they mentioned. Read the case files. Could those people have been saved with faster response? Could better trained firefighters have found them sooner? Were those deaths the cost of my diversity policies? Monday morning, emergency council meeting. All members present, plus fire service leadership. Chief Fire Officer presents comprehensive review. Everything Davies and his team showed, but more detailed. The data is undeniable. My policies have failed. Failed operationally, failed in safety outcomes, failed politically. Council votes to suspend the new hiring quotas. To reinstate original physical fitness standards. To reduce mandatory training hours. To review all policies with fire service input. Abstain from voting. Can't bring myself to support or oppose. After the meeting, Sarah Chen approaches me. Counselor, can we talk privately? We go to my office. She's not confrontational now. Just tired, sad, disappointed. Why didn't you listen to us before? We tried for 2 years to tell you these concerns. Feel defensive and ashamed simultaneously. I thought you were resistant to progress, that you wanted to maintain male dominance. She shakes her head. We wanted to maintain standards. Standards that exist for operational reasons. Not because of sexism or discrimination, but because the job requires it. She pulls out photos, firefighters in action. This is me on a job last year, carrying a man down a ladder. He was 95 kilos, unconscious from smoke. I could barely do it, even at full strength. Shows another photo. This is that junior firefighter I mentioned, the one who couldn't complete the carry. She's 52 kilos, hired under your quotas. Couldn't carry a child, let alone an adult. Sarah looks at me directly. You set her up to fail. Set me up to work with partners I can't rely on. Set the public up to have inadequate protection. Also, you could hit diversity numbers. The accusation is fair, earned, devastating. I'm sorry. I truly believed I was helping. I know you did, but you didn't listen to us. Didn't trust that we might know better about our own job. Didn't consider that maybe standards exist for real reasons. She stands to leave, pauses at the door. If you really want to help women in fire service, work with us, not against us. Support better recruitment, better training, better mentoring, not lower standards and quotas that undermine us. She leaves. I sit alone in my office. Everything I've built, everything I've fought for, has made things worse, not better. Increased deaths, decreased safety, damaged trust. 6 months later, all my policies are reversed. Standards reinstated, quotas eliminated, training reduced. Response times are slowly improving. Death rates declining back toward normal. Party removes me from Public Safety Committee. I'm still a counselor, but sideline diminished. Local election coming up, probably won't survive primary. Officer Davies retires, does interview with BBC. We didn't want to oppose the counselor publicly. But when private channels failed, we had no choice. Public safety had to come first before politics. Asked if the policies were well-intentioned. Yes, but good intentions don't save lives. Capability does, training does, standards do. We're firefighters. We deal in physical reality, not political ideology or social goals. TFW 400 firefighters show up at your town hall. TFW, they present data showing your policies increase deaths. TFW response times up 40%. Fire deaths up 160%. TFW, you lowered standards that exist to save lives. TFW female firefighters oppose your feminist policies. TFW residents fear for their safety because of your quotas. TFW party threatens to replace you over the disaster. TFW, every policy you implemented gets reversed. TFW, you lose committee position and political future. TFW, 400 firefighters were right all along. Still believe in gender equality and women's advancement. Still support diversity in public services. Still think women should have opportunities in all fields. But now understand that some standards can't be lowered. That operational requirements exist for real reasons. That diversity can't come at cost of capability. That people who do the job know better than politicians. Officer Davies and those 400 firefighters taught me that. By organizing, by presenting data, by speaking publicly, by refusing to be silent when lives were at stake, by putting safety over politics, reality over ideology. Lost my political future learning that lesson. But how many lives were lost before I learned it? How many deaths could have been prevented? If I'd listened sooner, if I'd worked with them, instead of imposing policies from above. That sounded good, but didn't work in reality. That achieved diversity numbers while decreasing safety. That's the cost of ideology over evidence, of politics over operational reality, of good intentions over actual outcomes. I learned it at 43, too late for my career, too late for the 16+ people who died. But at least the policies are reversed now. At least response times are improving. At least firefighters can do their jobs again, without standards lowered to meet quotas, without capability sacrificed for representation. That's what those firefighters achieved, by confronting me publicly at town hall, with data I couldn't refute, with evidence I'd been ignoring.